This is Mr. Wertsema, and you're listening to The Bomber Buzz.
It's a great day in the Bomber Nation. You're listening to The Bomber Buzz. This is Berthold's podcast coming to you right out of my office here. I'm Principal Jacob Jenkins. Going into this one solo for the start, Mr. Rudolph, Dean of Students, will be joining us a little later in today. But we're going to start by taking a look at what we have going on here, our last full week of school here. So it's hard to believe that we're already here, but I guess here we are. So next week, Monday, pretty quiet. Not a lot of activities going on Monday, but on Tuesday, we have a full day. That is Tuesday the 13th is our last day of regular high school classes for kids in grades 9 through 12. Grades 7 and 8 and kindergarten through 6 will still continue to attend until Friday. That's our last regular day, and then we start finals on Wednesday. Also on Tuesday, we want to invite the public to come on out. We have our 4th through 6th grade wax museum in the new gym. The whole public's invited. It's really neat. They take on the persona of a historical character person, and they will tell you about that person and give you some information. If you have never been, you need to come on out. That is on Tuesday the 13th. It starts at 2:15 and ends at 3:15, so it runs for 1 hour. So come on out. It's really great. Also on Tuesday, our Lewis and Clark Longhorn baseball is playing Ray. That'll be a home game here in Berthold at 4 o'clock. Lakers varsity track is heading out to Hazen. That track meets at 3 o'clock. And then there's a school board meeting that'll be here in Berthold at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. Another quiet day on Wednesday, but Thursday we've got preschool graduation. Starts at 10 a.m. in the old gym. And Lakers softball plays Harvey and Fessenden on Thursday at 4:30. Friday is our last day of school. We'll be releasing at 12:30 on Friday, so just a half day. If you're looking for something to do on Saturday, the Lakers varsity track regional meet is in Minot. That starts at 1 p.m. And the Lewis and Clark baseball regionals start on Saturday. That's in Ray. Times are to be determined yet. So just watch our website for those. And then the big event on Sunday, the 18th, graduation at 1 p.m. in the new gym. Come on out, celebrate our seniors. They've worked hard to get here, and it all pays off. They get to do that walk across the stage. We got some really great speeches coming up this year, too. I really encourage you to come out and hear what our students have to say. Very inspiring. I think you will be very inspired by this really great group of seniors that are now graduating. I thought I'd give a quick word about finals for grades 9 through 12. We do even numbered classes finals on Wednesday. We do odd class numbers on Thursday, and then Friday morning is makeup. If your student has a required final, they are required to be there. Remind you that finals are worth 20% of their overall grade. And if they don't attend a required final, then they'll get a 0. Any student that has over 10 absences that aren't school absence will also have to attend finals required for those classes. They'll be notified of that by Tuesday, so they know which classes that if they need to take a final for. Then on Friday, I forgot to mention too, we have our graduation practice. So any student that's in band, choir, they'll need to attend graduation practice at 9:30, and that'll be it. So we're kind of winding down the year, though. Of course, more regional tournaments and things like that kind of going on after graduation. Let's kind of look at your next week. So we've got a really a great episode for you here today. We're going to talk with Grayce Taylor. Mrs. Taylor was finishing up her 3rd year here in Berthold as our English teacher, and she is moving on to different things. So we have a real nice discussion with her and get to learn kind of about what she's planning and a little bit more about her. And then after that, we meet with Kassydy Hochhalter, who placed in the top 10 of state at speech. She had just a really amazing, humorous speech. I was fortunate enough to get to kind of help her work on it and see it, and she just did a phenomenal job. And so you can stay tuned then after Mrs. Taylor and hear about how speech works, and she does some of our characters for us. It's really great, so stay around for that as well. All of that's coming up here on the Bomber Buzz. Berthold Farmers Elevator is open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. If you have spring wheat, corn, canola, durum, yellow peas, or feed barley, make sure to give them a call at 453-3431. Visit their website at bertholdfarmers.com for the latest in market, weather, and news information. Berthold Farmers Elevator is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation.
This is Mrs. Osmondson with your fun fact for the week. Did you know that only about 20 to 25% of the ocean has been mapped and less than that has been actually explored? Now you know.
We're back on the Bomber Buzz, and joining us here we have Mrs. Grayce Taylor. Grayce, you've been with us for, is it 3 years now?
Yeah, it's my third year.
Yeah, third year, and
I know.
what a fast 3 years that was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It did go by fast.
It really did. Grayce is going to be pursuing other opportunities, starting a family here, right?
Yeah.
And so she won't be returning. We thought we'd sit down and kind of have a conversation. So
Yeah.
it's great to have you back on the Buzz here. It's been a while since we had you.
I know. Yeah, last time I was on, I think we talked about FCA, which was our
at
Bible
the start
study.
of this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we are at the end. What are, let's just do some reflection here.
Yeah.
Like, what are some of the things or highlights for you out of your 3 years here in Berthold?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I mean, I think looking back at it, like I never saw myself at a Class B school. Like
Sure.
I didn't do any of my prep, or any of my student teaching at any type of small schools. So I think the biggest thing was, I don't know, I think I was just going in like not really thinking about it because that's just my personality. Like I'm like, just gonna wing it. Like we're just gonna
Tackle it head on.
Yeah, we're gonna figure it out. Like there's no point in stressing about it. But yeah, I think one thing was like realizing how much I did enjoy teaching all grades, and learning. I mean, I learned a lot, I feel like, in teaching a bunch of different grades. And
for sure, right?
I think also the element of like getting them back every year. I mean, that was never something that I even imagined. I mean, I didn't even understand that concept. Like, oh yeah,
right.
like, you teach them every year. And then I think part of that is like, you get so invested in their lives. You form relationships with them and you're going to see them the next year and then they know you and you know them.
Yeah.
And so I think that was definitely something that I was like, man, you really they become your kids. And I think that you're like so invested in their success.
Agreed.
And beyond just their grades, like you just want them to be a good person. And like watching them grow and mature. And I think about some of my classes, like my juniors from freshman to their junior year. I mean, there's so much that changes. And
it's a lot of different, right?
It's very different. It's very different. So yeah, it's been really good. And I think that's probably been the thing that I've enjoyed the most that I never thought I would enjoy.
Well, now you were a Minot High grad, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was kind of weird because I went to Central for like a year and a quarter because then my dad's in the military. So
right.
we moved overseas for 2 years to South Korea. And so then I went to a smaller school then, but then halfway through my senior year, which was like 2018, we moved back to Minot.
Okay.
So yeah, I remember walking through the halls like January and kids seeing me and like doing a double take. Like I thought,
think I know you.
Yeah, like they're like, I thought you moved. And so my second half of my senior year was at Magic City, and I graduated from there. So
you would have had a lot of different teachers. Like you would be very used to that. Like
yes,
without that consistency, where a new person that, I mean, almost every year really.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And it was. Yeah, I think going to a bunch of different schools, it was like you get a lot of different types of teachers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was I was used to changing teachers, not used to having the same teacher investing in me. So, but yeah, I did have one Spanish teacher who I did get back when we lived in Korea. I had her for 2 years and I took Spanish 3, which let's just be totally honest. I'm not that good at Spanish. There was no reason I should have taken Spanish 3, but I liked her.
Yep.
And that was why I took Spanish 3. And that was the only reason I took it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she was probably the one teacher that I look back and I'm like, yeah, she was, and she did invest in me in a lot of ways. And I think shared a lot of the same faith. And so that we bonded a lot on that. So,
yeah. Well, I think you touched on one of the greatest strengths of Class B, which is that it's a relationship type. Yeah. Like you get to know these kids, who they really are. They get to know who you really are. Yeah. So, that is a weakness of a big school where it can, a student doesn't want to invest in a teacher that they'll never see again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very hard to put that emotion on the line every year and then have to rebuild a new relationship the next year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because of that, a lot of kids can fall through cracks too, because then staff doesn't know who they are or what they're, whatever, what they need. But out here, like you said, I know that kid. I've had him for 4 years. I know exactly how,
Yes.
And that's a strength. That's a, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. It's incredible.
I got a question for you. Tell me, so now you came in fresh as a first year teacher, spent year 1, 2, and 3 here. What advice would you give to a new teacher rolling in?
That's good.
Like to a Class B school or just any school?
Let's say the person replacing you. What advice would you give to them?
It's funny because I do know her.
Oh, she knew you, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she told me. She's like,
yes.
I know Grayce Taylor.
Yes,
I know. We run in the same circles a little bit.
We do. I know. And when I realized who she was, because I looked her up, I was like, I know her. So I'm probably going to end up reaching out to her. I already know. I was like, I'm going to reach out to her. But yeah, I think if I had to give advice, I mean, oh gosh. For one, I'm like, you're going to make so many mistakes and that's okay. Kids are resilient. I think that's the thing that, you learn, and not to say that makes it okay to make mistakes, but it's also just I look back on my first year and as much as I was just trying to figure out, I think also just getting to know the kids was just huge. Learning them. And not just, there's so much where you're you have to teach them you're teaching them your structure, you're teaching them the way you teach in so many ways. But I think almost sometimes you get so caught up in them understanding you that you don't always take time to understand them. And I think that was there was a lot of kids where, I don't know, I think even just reasoning with them, kids that I remember my very first year, one of my senior boys, I'm a first, not that big of an age gap between me and these senior boys. Yeah. And one of them was I believe respect is earned. And instead of just being I was I didn't feel like I had any authority. Let's be totally honest. I knew that I should, and I was like, wow, I'm the adult in the room. That was, I think, pretty eye-opening because I didn't feel like it. But I remember pulling this one kid out in the hall because we just needed to have a conversation. And and so we went on the hall. He's taller than me. I'm standing there looking up at him. And I'm just and I just had a conversation with him. I didn't try and strong fisted because I'm 5'3". And he wasn't going to take that. He wasn't going to take that. So I said, here's the deal. I understand that. That is your perspective, and I respect that. I said, but the thing is, I am your teacher, and I've been given this authority. And I said, I don't care if you don't like me or if you don't like the way I do things at times. I said, I'm going to respect the fact, I'll respect your opinion, and I'm not being mean to you. Yeah. I'm just asking for basic things. And I said, and I'm just going to ask that you give me a little bit of trust and do respect me. And it was just, I don't know. And we just had to talk about it. And after that, I didn't have any more problems with him. It was even if they didn't agree with everything I did, and I was honest, I said, I'm learning. I'm not going to pretend I have everything together. I said, but I'm going to ask that you just keep your mouth shut. You disagree with me? Just keep it shut. If you have a problem, you can talk to me later, and I would love to hear what you have to say. But and I don't know, it's I think learning them, learning that I can't just scold this kid and give him detention. That's not going to fix anything. It was let's just have a conversation. And I think the one-on-one conversations that I had with kids, there's so many one-on-one talks that I would have to have with them outside of the room. And it was it showed them that I was human. Sure. And it also helped me see that they were human too sometimes. Because when they're when they all band together.
It's hard, right?
Yeah, it's hard. They feel like little monsters. And it's but then you get them out in the hallway and then they, that's when they break down and when they're honest. And so. yeah, anyways, me kind of rambling. But yeah, those are some things.
I didn't take it as rambling.
Good,
I
good.
followed
Okay,
it all.
good.
So that was good.
That was good.
That was good. What do you think you've learned the most? Have you grown?
Oh, yeah. Yes, a lot. I think probably the biggest lesson, which I was even just telling someone about this the other day, looking back on my college experience, okay, if I'm being totally honest, I was not a star student, like at all. I mean, I was not the kid that always had A's, and I wasn't the kid that always turned in my work on time. And I don't know. I was just,
Grayce.
I know. I know.
I am.
Okay. Well,
Right?
are you really?
My whole just dropped.
No.
Like I had this ceiling, and now it just.
No. Oh my gosh. I am so type B. It's not even funny. Yeah. I'm here for the social. That's why I went to school. I was there for the social aspect. I mean, and I did enjoy learning, and I was very motivated around my peers.
Yeah.
But as soon as you sent me home with homework, like that motivation was absolutely gone. And so I was not that kid. And in college, I just looked at, and I reflected a lot, and I even had a professor call me out kind of, because I was very focused on I was a part of this college ministry group, and I was really involved with that, and I was really involved with my friends, and and I remember writing it was my senior seminar, which is when you're an English major.
I remember.
Yes, you write this huge paper, and you spend a whole semester researching it. You spend a whole semester writing it. I mean, it's a lot of work, and there was a lot of deadlines. I just felt like I wasn't ever perfectly hitting, and I just was off. And that professor who I had, who was incredible, Sarah Alshire, I remember having my evaluation at the end of the semester, and she said this to me. She's like, Grayce, it's not that you're not organized, but you don't follow through. And when I tell you, I cried. She said it to me, I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember her talking about it. She's like, when you get into teaching, these kids need you to be, they need that consistency. They need those deadlines, grades and things like that. They need you to be ready, and it was just, and it was it was honest, and I needed that. And even coming in, I mean, even now after 3 years, I'm not perfect, but I think the biggest challenge has been realizing, I think in the Bible it talks about being a good steward with what you've been given. And I think I always always really emphasized my ministry in my life, because that was really important to me.
Sure.
But realizing I wasn't a good steward in school, and that was kind of convicting. When she called me out, I was honestly, and a big thing for me is representing Christ in all of my life. And I think sometimes I just represent Christ in the fact that I talk about God, I'm pretty open, and I'm oh, I'm representing God. But if I don't follow through on my job, I'm actually not representing him well. And it really hit me that I hadn't been representing him well. And I think even now in teaching, realizing that I remember in my illustration for this, which Jenkins will love, I'm if I'm sitting on my prep hour and I'm sitting on my phone and Jenkins walks by, there's this gut. I'm oh, because I'm oh shoot, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And it hit me. Am I being a good steward in the time? This is my job. In my first year, I feel I was trying to figure that out. And then my second year, it really hit me. I was convicted, and I was I need to be a good steward with the time I've been given, and I need to commit that to my job. I don't know. And that just has been something that learning discipline, and I'm not a very self-disciplined person. And when, in a lot of sense, I have to learn how to be. And I think I'm definitely not perfect. I'm not claiming to be perfect at all. It's a lesson I am very much still learning. But I've been so grateful to be in an environment where I don't feel like I have to be perfect. I don't feel this hand over me, but also this is still this expectation that I do need to do my job well, and I do need to, and these kids need me to do my job well.
Right.
And I think that has also helped a lot, because I know they're relying on me to prepare them. And so, so it is a lesson I am still learning. So it's by no means have I figured it out, but it has been something that I've been challenged by a lot. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, no, it's.
I think so too. That is fantastic. I thought that was well stated and pretty honest and forthright, right?
Yeah, might as well just get all out there.
It's who I am. Yeah. And sometimes we all need that little fact check, if you will.
Right.
That, you're right. I can self-reflect and see that. I can follow you. I got you.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt at any age.
No, it doesn't. And I think kids appreciate that,
Oh, I think most people.
I think
if
I would agree.
If you like any type of self-reflection and want to, we were always taught to be lifelong learners.
Yes.
And if you're a lifelong learner, I think you commit to that philosophy.
Yes.
That, I always go back to the, I really never heard the question until Moneyball with the movie. And it was like, never accept that a question is answered to its fullest or something to that nature.
Yeah.
You never accept that a question is answered to its fullest. And I'm like, that's pretty spot on.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you might think you have all the answers until you really dig into it. And it's like, dude, then, and you've had a chance to travel the world in the military.
Yeah.
And, I grew up in North Dakota, spent 22 years here, and then South Dakota, Iowa. And the thing that you learn is like, oh my God, there are so many talented people in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, we're, don't take me wrong. There's a lot of talented people in North Dakota as well, but there's so many talented people in the world. And they all have different talents of this and that nature. And we're going to make a mistake. And if we can be lifelong 100%. Learners and promote that aspect, then I think we're barking up the right tree, so to speak.
I mean, it seems to me the mark of a good person is someone that makes a mistake, owns it, and moves on.
Yeah.
Learns from it.
Yeah.
I did that. And I'm honest about it. And here's how I'm going to change from it.
Yeah.
And not everybody does that.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They do not at all. I know. Talk about, we do Character Strong in my class, which is one of my favorite things that I do. And we do about once a week, depending on what the week looks like. But my seniors, like I do it with my seniors sometimes just because it's like, it's just good reflection stuff.
It is, yeah.
But it is funny seeing like some students that are just like, so they're just, which it does tend to be boys. And I'm going to be totally honest as a female. I do wrestle with this. Like, I'm just like, because they're like, who cares? Like, I'm fine. Like, even today we did a reflection with the 9th graders. And I said, you all have to share. And I said, I don't care what you're sharing, but you have to reflect on something you learned this year. And I said, and I know girls have emotions and boys don't have any, but we just shove them down, like, and jokingly saying it because then they're all laughing like, yeah, that's right. They don't exist, like, and it's just, sometimes it's always the boys that are like, who cares? And I'm over here like, what? Like, I just don't understand because I'm a female, and I love being a woman. I'm like, let's talk about emotions. Like, I'm all for it. But yeah. It's just something I still wrestle with. I'm like, not to say that all men are not reflective. I'm not saying that at all.
I get what you're saying.
Maybe it's just the maturity level. And maybe they get there eventually. I don't know.
I think there's some societal thing in there too. I mean,
a little societal thing, maybe. I'll grant you that.
Yeah. I was like, you tell me how to do it. Because I'm over here like, what do I do? Not that, whatever.
Oh, you're probably going to.
For me. Cry.
Grayce, when you say stuff like that, you're probably going to end up with 6 boys.
Yeah, I know. You're so right. No, God would do that to me. He would. I even said it to my husband the other day. I don't know what I don't even know, but I'm like, I just want to understand your thoughts. And he was just like, he was preparing a sermon and he's writing he's like, no, you can't look at it. This is like my internal thoughts. And I was like, I'm over here like, give it all to me. Yes. I know. Yes, we are made different for a reason, though, and
well, that's for sure, right?
Yes.
We strengthen the other where they're weak.
That's right.
And if we were exactly the same, then you're not strengthening.
So true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
Shifting gears here, so we kind of talked about advice for a new teacher coming in. What would you want to say to the students? Like, what do you want them to know about Grayce, or what do you want them to walk away?
Yeah.
Like this is what I want you to know, or.
Yeah. I think, I don't know. Oh, there's so many things I could really say. I think my biggest thing is like not finding your worth and value in like these things that are just temporary. Cause it's so easy to, and especially as high schoolers, it's like, and middle schoolers, sometimes your identity and your value is so tied to the people around you. And
right.
And like the thing is, people change, gosh, some days I wake up and I'm in the best mood ever. And another day I wake up and man, I'm grumpy and I don't know why.
Correct.
Like, and if someone is basing their value off of whether I smile at them or not, like you never know what you're going to feel that day. And there's just, I don't know. And there's a lot, like there's just so much in the world, like pulling you one direction or the other, telling you to think this, telling you to feel this. And it's just like, I don't know. I think there's a point where you have to find like these consistent things in your life that you can stand on. Yeah. Cause it's just, I don't know, like, it's like, friends and family, like it's like waves, and sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low. And when you're allowing that to determine your value and you're allowing that to determine your worth and you're allowing that to determine your mood, like you're going to be all over the place too. And one day your social media feed, are you going to let that control you? I mean, there's just so many things that we just submit to, I think. And it's like, I don't know. It kind of takes you for a ride. And I think, I don't know. And that's, gosh, there's so many things I could say, but that is one thing I think, which you say about Grayce Taylor. I think like, I hope the lesson that I've taught them is like, there's nothing wrong, I think, with being honest with yourself and even being honest with other people. Like we talked about that with like being reflective and being lifelong learners and like admitting we messed up. And I can't tell you how, I mean, there's a lot of times I've stood in front of the classes and just been like, okay, I did drop the ball on this and I did mess up. And like, but that doesn't mean like I am less valuable as a person because of that. And that doesn't mean my world is crumbling and I don't have to let my emotions go that way too. Like I can still be stable and acknowledge that I messed up, but then I can also move on and move forward. And so I think, finding consistency in like the things that actually matter. And I think, just learning to like accept mistakes and be honest and be vulnerable. And like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes the fear of being vulnerable is whether you're accepted or not. But if that doesn't determine your value and worth, then like, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter what other people say or think. But yeah. And one last thing I guess I would say is like realizing that we are all human and just people, I think that's just something whether it's with teachers or with other people, like you hear someone, I mean, there was like a time and I heard apparently like some people were talking about me and like, it was like adults, and it was like, and I heard someone came and told me and I was just like, it was one of those moments where it was like, it like, it did sting and I didn't even know what was being said, but it was just like, I was like, oh, and then I was like, you know what? They're human, they're people. And like, do I think that like was right? It's like, no, but also like, but they're still a person. And I don't know, I think sometimes we're just so like quick to label like people as monsters or just to like think that they have nothing going on in their lives. Like even students, I think, one day they come in and they're just a terror and you forget that they're a kid, you forget that they're human and that sometimes you just have bad days. And so I think the big thing is even just, we're all human and we're all trying to figure it out and like give some grace and love.
Agreed.
And it just makes your life easier. Even if it doesn't, like, you're like, well, they don't deserve that. It's like, well, it's not about them. It's actually about you.
Well, like, that's literally the definition of grace is granting someone leeway when they don't deserve it. That's what grace is all about.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. It is. Which is funny, right?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
No play on words there.
No, right. None at all. None at all. Yeah. It's very true. I know.
Hitting the metaphors, the deep feels, and look at us.
I know. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Which it is funny, not to be like all like whatever, but names. Like I was just talking to someone about like names the other day and talking about like, and it was even something like, okay, I've never thought about my name like being Grayce. Like, and not to say that I'm an English teacher, so of course everything has meaning, but like, and not to make everything super deep, but it's just, I was like, I think even myself, I've had to really wrestle with even giving myself grace. Yeah. And I think for the longest time, I feel like I've been my own biggest critic. And I think learning to give myself grace was such a journey and is still a journey. Yeah. And I think, but then also it's like, it's part of it is learning to give myself grace, but also then learning to give other people grace. And it's, and it's a lifelong journey because there's people that wrong us all the time. And I mean,
this is for real.
Yeah. So that's funny.
That's good.
It is. Fantastic. Yeah. Oh, how about just talk to us a little bit about just the Tuesday mornings?
Yes. Tuesday mornings, FCA. I know, it is one of those, and a lot of the reason I'm leaving, yes, like we are starting a family, but like, it's also like, I'm not pregnant. And like, it's one of those things, even I look back at it, I'm like, God, am I like missing the mark right now? Cause like, it's like, should I stay another year? And this was obviously before I told you guys, I was wrestling with these thoughts earlier on. but it was just, beginning of the year, like I just felt a release, which is crazy when I tell you, because when I tell you, like, was so invested in these kids, I was like, I can never imagine myself leaving.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, I felt a release, and I was like, what? And not that I'm not sad to leave, but I have felt like, okay, like I feel at peace about stepping back, totally. And then the thing that was crazy is I used to always joke that Mrs. Rowland would never leave. Like, I was like, Miss Rowland would never leave Berthold. Then Mrs. Rowland leaves. And I'm like, and I don't think much of it. I'm like, oh my gosh, like what? And then Mr. Wurtzema comes in, new teacher.
Yep.
And then I see him at my church, and I'm like, wait a second. And his wife starts coming to my small group, and, my Bible study that I do in my house. And all of a sudden I'm like, okay. And I asked him, I said, do you want to, do this Bible study with me? And you want to be a part of it and like co-lead it? And I remember looking back, like the moment I felt that release, and then I ended up finding, meeting Mr. Wurtzema, and then I realized, like, wait a second, like this guy used to like would lead Bible studies and like would be interested in even like doing it with me, and then hopefully potentially taking it over. And I say that because it's just, it was such a like full circle moment of being like, wow, like there are ways that are higher than mine and that I don't understand. But Tuesday mornings is our Bible study at the school, and God started because of Rudolph himself getting it going. And it's just, for a lot of things, I think even some of the students, hearing them even share, even like after FCA at times, like it's just a place to challenge them and to like push them in their faith and their understanding of the word and their understanding of God. And we're ask them to go deeper. I think it's kind of just my heart is like helping them understand God more. Cause I feel like for a long time, when you have a misconstrued conception of God, like that's, I don't know. We just read this quote the other day that says, you don't see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. So almost like we don't see things as they are. We see things the way we perceive them. And that's just the human. We do that with people. We do that with things we like and things we dislike. And we do that with God. And I think the thing that is consistent is the word of God. Like that, if you believe in God, you believe in his word and you believe his Bible is true. And so it's like, if you aren't reading it and if you're not in it, how are you supposed to know him? Do you just trust what your pastor tells you? Do you trust what, Miss Taylor tells you at FCA? And not to say that I'm perfect in my understanding of everything, but it's like, but challenging kids to be like, what does this say? And what does it mean? And like, do we know it? And so I think that's kind of like the heart behind FCA is getting kids in the word, helping them understand it. Because like, if they don't understand it, I don't want them to miss what God has for them, I think is my biggest thing. Like, I think God has big plans for all these kids, and I want them to know him and really know him, not know a version of him, Sure. So I think that's kind of the heart behind it. And then Mr. Wurtzema has come on full, he's been helping, and him and I've been taking turns leading, and he's taking it over next year, which is really
pretty great.
It's incredible. It is God. Like, that is literally just what it is. Like, so. Yeah, no,
it's really neat. I think it's been great for these kids to share their faith with one another and see. Sometimes we kind of feel like we're alone if we don't go to the same church or we don't. It's not cool to talk about it, when you're just kind of sitting around. So it is nice that this is created and these kids can like create that bond with one another and share that faith with one another, and that creates a community. That's been great.
Yeah, it has been really cool.
Yep. Well, we've enjoyed you.
Absolutely.
We really enjoyed you.
No, I've loved it here. It's been more than I ever could have even imagined it would have been. And and I'm excited for the next teacher, genuinely. Because I'm like, hey, if God's plans are big enough that like, he opens a door for someone to come in and take over FCA, even with me leaving, I'm like, maybe me leaving isn't even for myself, but it is for Miss Hovde coming in, what if it's like me just stepping out of the way and allowing her to come in? Because like this environment has helped me so much, and this school has helped me so much, and like just the love and just even the community that is here. Like, I'm so excited for someone else to step into it, and to learn and to grow and to teach. So it's good. I'm excited.
All right. Well, that feels like a natural kind of end
pretty much.
Grayce, we have been blessed to have you for the last 3 years, and I think I speak for myself and Mr. Rudolph and the whole school that we wish you all the best in everything that you do. It's just been a blessing having you. And I know you'll be missed by us. You'll be missed by the staff and students in the community. So thank you for your 3 years.
No, thank you
so much. All right, well, stay with us. We're going to be talking with Kassydy Hochhalter coming up here. She went to state for speech, and we're going to learn all about that. And maybe we can even coax a speech out of her. We'll see.
Yeah, let's go.
Stay with us here on The Buzz. The people of Farmers Union Oil believe in the community and in the people that work there. From gas and parts to food and friendship, Farmers Union Oil is powered by local people and provides for the community's needs. Make sure to stop in at one of their locally owned 4 locations in Berthold, Carpio, Donnybrook, and Burlington. Farmers Union Oil is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. We are back on The Buzz, and we have a special guest star here with us today, Ms. Kassydy Hochhalter. Welcome back to the Bomber Buzz.
Hello.
And we are excited to talk to you about speech. You qualified for state speech and had a pretty good day, I would say, right?
Yeah, I'd say that, yeah.
So tell us, well, first of all, you were 9th, is that right, in the state?
Well, I think 10, either 10 or 9. I don't really know for sure.
Okay. Oh, I suppose they don't tell you exactly what that number is, but...
Yeah, no, I got very close to placing 8th though.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty sweet when you think about 9 or 10 and there are hundreds of kids from the whole state that participate.
Yeah.
I mean, this is quite the accomplishment.
I didn't even think I'd get anything at all.
Yeah. Well, and I have to say, I feel kind of blessed because I got to see your journey. We did some practices together, which was really fun, and got to see your initial speech, and then we did a practice before you went to state, and just that growth, and it's been really awesome. Watching that, how you find the interpretation and things like that. So let's go back a little bit though. What was the piece that you went to state on?
I Love Everybody by Lori Nataro.
And do you want to tell our listeners, what is the premise of that?
Sorry. It's about this, lady, it's this lady who gets very annoyed. Who gets very annoyed and irritated very easily.
Yeah.
Despite what the title says, she does not love everybody. And she tries, and so she tries to she comes up with this new mantra, I love everybody. So she tries to get get along and be nice with people. And then she goes to Costco, and literally every type of person she hates, she meets in Costco. And so she like freaks out a bit, and ends up, and at the end, she ends up being mean to like an old woman, like with an oxygen tank.
She didn't realize that she had an oxygen tank.
No.
And you're right. She had leashes and then realizes, oh,
Yeah.
nuts.
It's a really fun piece, and I relate a lot to it.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun characters in that as well, and you play all the characters.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So what's your process when you sit down with a piece like that?
Like initially, what I do is I just do a dry read through. I time myself just to make sure, because every piece has to be 8 minutes or less.
Right.
And I like take like 30 seconds, or like around 30 seconds, because we have to make our own intro to go with it, which is around like 15, 30, 10 seconds, whatever. Mm-hmm. And after I've done that, I just kind of like practice, like go through the characters, and like, because every character's voice and mannerisms have to be different, so the judges can like differentiate. And really, I try to like read it over and over again, and just like getting like my emotions right, and like say incorporating some actions and like moving space, just trying to like embody the piece a little bit. Yeah.
That's awesome.
What was the, because there's a handful of different, just help, because not everybody's been to a speech meet, right?
Yeah.
And like, tell of how many different contests are there?
I'm not really sure. I might miss a few, but I'm just gonna name. I might miss a few. There's humorous interp, this was the one that I went to state in. Serious interp, dramatic. So serious prose, dramatic interp, humorous duo, serious duo, speech entertain, speech to inform, speech persuade, extemporaneous, EPR, impromptu, storytelling, poetry, radio, and I might be missing more, but I think that's it.
Oh, I think you hit them all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different events that you can compete in.
Oh yeah.
And yours was humorous.
Yes.
Yours was the humorous. And how many people qualified for state in the humorous category?
I think there was like 40 other people at state
40 of you?
around. Yeah.
Because there's 10, isn't there 10 regions in North Dakota? Is that right? Am I wrong
Boy,
on that?
it's something like that. It's going to be something like that.
It's something like 10 or
Yeah.
I don't recall exactly, but something like 10.
It is a little more broken up,
Yeah.
if I remember right. How
And
many? Go ahead.
Because you won the regional. Didn't you win our region?
I got third.
Third at our
Yeah.
region. That's right. Third at our region. Qualified for the state in the humorous and then finished somewhere in the top 10.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
It's really, really quite an achievement.
Yeah.
And been one of our first, in the years I've been at Berthold, the first speech person.
To qualify for state and place, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. which
Pretty
is
cool.
Really neat.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So, how many speech meets do you guys? Because speech meets are usually on Saturdays, right?
Yes.
And about how many did you compete in this year?
Let me think. I'd say around like 6, 5.
Okay.
I'm not like at the top of my head. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, that'd probably be about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a Saturday too. It's not everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody likes
No.
giving up their Saturdays.
No, I mean you're getting up early to drive. 'cause
We did
it's-
have 2 meets on Friday.
Friday nights.
right
Yeah.
because regionals was
Regionals and then the meet before regionals.
right. And you guys travel. I mean, it's not all just local. You got to go a couple hours. So, right, like some mornings you're up at like 5.
Yep.
So you can be on the road and you're not getting home till 6, 7, 8 o'clock at night, I suppose.
More like 4 or 5. I mean, honestly, it depends because some meets do 3 rounds, no finals,
Right.
and other meets do 2 rounds, finals, and then awards. Which 2 rounds and finals usually goes around like a lot later, like
Right.
till like 5, 6. But 3 rounds it gets done a lot quicker, so like 2, 3.
Yeah, I suppose there's less tabulations when you're not doing a finals round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little? Kind of know this is kind of right on the spot, but can you give us all 4 characters real quick?
Like right now.
Yeah, like right now, give us a little all 4 characters. Different things in. Yeah,
Look at my piece.
Yes, we'd love to hear. it.
This is just Lori Notaro, the narrator. This is one of the girls she comes across when at the sample booth. She's very annoying. There's like a ringing in her purse and she doesn't answer it for like 5 minutes. This is the girl who's like with her. It's like the girl who's like with like the cell phone girl. She doesn't really have a lot of lines, but yeah. This is just like the sample lady and the bakery lady, like a generic voice. And this is the peanut lady. When Lori's getting her cake at the bakery stand, this one lady, she bugs the bakery lady because she asks for a carrot cake, but she's very allergic to walnuts, and she just gets in the way of Lori as she's in the process of getting her cake, just like butts in the front of the line and just starts yapping about.
That's pretty good.
Oh, and each one is its own thing. I mean, that takes a lot of work and development.
that does take some practice. Yeah,
and in your piece, you're switching those characters like on the spot. It's not like there's a gap where you kind of take a breath and be like, all right, now I'm going to be this character. It's the very next line you're in.
So are you having conversations with yourself?
I mean, basically, it's having like a conversation with myself.
Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome.
So in reflection, like what would you say is the highlight of your whole speech here then? Like
Definitely going to state. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of an easy one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it should be mentioned, you were also in a really good humorous duo that with Martin.
Serious duo.
Serious duo. Sorry.
Yes.
Yep. Serious duo. I got to see that as well, and it was great. And you almost went to state with that. You were very close.
We got third at regionals.
Yeah, but because of the number of participants in that category, only the top two went instead of the top three. A lot of times it's top three because usually there's a lot of people, but this year not. But you deserve to. You should have. It was great.
Yeah, I'm really disappointed about that.
I'm a little biased on it, though, maybe.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's all right.
All right.
What do you, Cass? I got one final question for you. But what do you think what have you taken away from attending speech and participating in speech, and what has it done to make you, like, let's say, just a better overall student?
It's definitely helped me like slow down like my words a lot because I'm a very fast talker. But in speech, you have to like slow down so the judges can understand you. And I felt that helped me like be a better like speaker. And also speech is just very fun. Like I meet a lot of new people. One of my best friends I met at a speech meet. So yeah.
It's a fun community.
It is.
Yeah.
You get to meet other weirdos at other schools.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, Cassie, any final words for our audience before we call her good here?
If you are a high school student, I definitely recommend you do speech next year. It is a lot of fun. And yeah.
Agreed.
There you go.
All right. Well, Cassie, congratulations again. We are very proud of your success. Good job again, the state speech. Stick with us. We got more coming up here. United Agronomy's mission is to improve the lives of their patrons and their families by offering data-driven solutions that fit each individual acre. From its start with a Berthold office location in the year 2000, United Agronomy has grown quickly to 4 locations in Berthold, Ross, Parshall, and Williston, and continues to expand their partnerships and offerings. From soil testings and crop scouting to custom spray application and fertilizer delivery and more, United Agronomy offers you the farming solutions you need to get the most out of every acre while exemplifying our small town values. Make sure to visit their website or give them a call to find out how they can help you. United Agronomy is a proud sponsor of the Bomber Nation. You've been listening to the Bomber Buzz. This is our weekly podcast right out of Berthold Public School. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you get all of our new episodes. You can find us everywhere that podcasts are, or just hop onto the front page of our website. We're right there as well every week. Thanks for listening. Taking us out today is the Berthold Band playing our school song.